One of the things that I want to be sure that you all think about when you're thinking about this being the CEO of your business is CEO level doesn't come from intensity. It doesn't come from rushing. It doesn't come from us being in hustle mode, which is how so many people believe that they have to build their business in life. How many of you, whether it's raising your digital hand or raising your physical hand, how many of you have built your business so far in hustle mode? Some or all of the time. Okay, a few of you are raising your hand. Yes? I know what that's like. I literally spent 20 years either working for other people in combination of working for myself in hustle mode, right? And all of us have different reasons for why that's true. Some of us have been moms, some of us have been leaders, some of us have been women that have different reasons why it's been dependent on us to build whatever we're building or to build the businesses we're a part of. Or we were someone that, whether it's male or female, someone that always historically has been the person that shows up for everyone around you and your family and your friends. And that causes us sometimes to think hustle is the only way to profit. And I'm here to share with all of you today. I'm sure you've already heard me say this before. It's not. And I hope that that gives you a little bit of a sigh of relief. Does everyone have the playbook now? I saw some people commenting, and I know that she's shared it in there. Angel, if you could share it one more time just for anyone that joined after you posted it, that would be awesome. Okay, so we're going to start diving in. This is not going to be about tactics today. There will be some usable things you can take away and take action on, but it's not going to be tactical only, as you probably already discovered. It's going to be mindset plus tactics, and it's going to cause you to be able to lead your life from a place of purpose, partnerships, profit, and also being able to build wealth and give back in a way that feels peaceful and is genuine and authentic and heart-led versus you just feeling like you constantly have to work to see if you can keep up. If you leave this hour with one clearer weekly rhythm and one decision that changes how you show up in your business, this is going to have a big return in your life and your business. And I'm so excited about that for all of you. And I just want you to write this down if you haven't already. Enough is not less. Enough is clarity. Because a lot of times when we think about the definition of enough, we think, do we have enough money? Do we have enough time? Do we have enough food? Do we have enough of the basic necessities? Do we have enough great friendships? Do we have enough employees? Do we have enough clients to serve? Right? And that is how we normally define enough. And today we're actually going to redefine that and think about how successful, sustainable CEOs in real estate and other industries actually show up as a CEO in their business in a way that it lasts a long time instead of feeling like you're burnt out. High-performing CEOs don't wait for clarity to appear one day. They actually build habits that create it over time. And another thing to think about is they don't just build habits that create it over time. They also stop doing things that take away from them being great as a CEO over time. And that's where the hustle usually comes from, is you naturally show up in alignment with who you are and you're building, whether you're operationally focused, which I see an amazing director of operations on right now, or whether you are a salesperson or whether you're a leader. You do all these things that are working and then you just keep adding to them and you never take away from it. Anybody? You just kept adding more and you're one person. And sometimes we don't like to remember that, right? We're going to actually work in your book. Everyone has a playbook now? Yes? Okay, awesome. We're going to work in your book and we're going to work on section 1. And we're going to go through some questions that are going to help you think about if you're currently operating as an operator role in your business or if you are actually operating as a CEO. And there are big differences, and it doesn't matter what size your business is on how you're applying this to your business. You could be relatively new, you could be 20 years in, you could be anywhere in between. And the mindset and the habits of this are going to cause you to have a scalable, profitable business when you apply it well. And some of you, because I know you well, I know already have some of these habits, and I believe that you're going to get some additional takeaways that help you. And I'm so excited about it. All right, so let's think about these questions. I want you to write down the answers. If you mostly manage tasks in your week, I want you to write that down. If you just think about over the time frame that you focus on your business, whether it's 5, 7 days, 6 days, you mostly manage tasks. You're mostly the doer. I want you to say, yes, I mostly manage tasks. Versus if you manage judgment or decisions, you're going to have a combination of both, no matter which one you answer. But what is the majority of your calendar? Okay, task or decisions. The second thing I want you to think about is, are your results limited by effort or are they limited by the quality of your decisions? So do you feel like you can just outwork Angel, can you share the playbook one more time? Ashley's asking for it. Do you think you can just outwork any problem? Or do you think you can make wiser choices, right? And that's the same category here. I'm just helping you think about it. Either your results are limited by your effort, or they're limited by the quality of your decisions and being smarter, which would be systems, people, tools, those kind of things that are going to help you be more present with more people. Today is about upgrading how you decide so your business doesn't require constant reaction and you can more be in proactivity than reactivity. So when you look at section 1 and you think about task related versus decision related, do you think that today in your business you're primarily operating as an operator or a CEO? And I want everyone to come off mute and answer, and if you can't, type it in the chat. Are you an operator or are you CEO?
For me, this is Shantae too. I think that I am more of a operator at the present.
Okay, got it. And Carla, I want you to, so Carla said operator, and she actually is the director of operations. So we can chat a little bit more around that piece, around leader hat versus doing, and making sure that you can continue to systematize things and be wise about the things that you delegate or stop doing over time if there are things that are no longer important for the current business plan, right? That's really good. And then Leska wrote, operator, Pamela, operator, you have a question? You're muted. Let me know when you get off mute and I'll make sure that you can ask your question or type in the chat and I'll be happy to answer it. Okay. For some reason, I just couldn't hear you. So, I can hear you now.
Thank you. Question. I'm stuck in the operator mode, not because I want to, but because I lack either the system to take over that task or the people to take over the tasks.
Correct.
That's also okay. That's also, I think most of us are stuck in that.
There are a lot of people stuck in that. And I mean, there are people with really big brokerages and really big teams that also get stuck in that. This conversation is about awareness and then incorporating this question for yourself often enough, probably on your CEO day every week, to identify where that week you were operating in task mode and operations versus being the true CEO of your business so that you can shift the things you're working on in the direction that you would like it to be. That's so perfect. And what's funny is as you were talking, Lorraine typed operator implementing towards CEO. So very similar to what you just asked. Does anyone else have a question around this? Or did that help? And what's awesome is this actually helps every business that you're in partnership with. So if you have people that are referral partners, you can have this conversation when you're talking to them to help them be consistent in realizing it. If you have people that are complementary businesses to real estate that are vendors that you work with in your business to serve your clients, you can actually have them talk about this for this year and think about where they are consistently. So not only is it a tool for yourself, it's a tool for you to be able to support other people as well in conversations you're having about business. All right, so you're going to write down what's the difference that you're thinking about between a CEO and an operator. And I will share with you that no matter how high level of a CEO you become in your business, you're still going to have some task-related things on your calendar. You don't ever get rid of 100% of them, right? It's just the majority of your time becomes invested in CEO quality, decision-making, improving systems, choosing talent. So difference you notice right now, and then one way that you can lead more as a CEO this week. And you can either write down what comes to mind or you can wait a little bit for that answer because we're going to talk about that a lot and you might decide what that is closer to the end of this conversation. All right. Calendar your CEO task. Love that, Lorraine. That's such a great answer. Just remember that confusion is expensive, right? A confused mind does nothing. And just because of a lot of conversations I'm having with coaching clients and several of you right now, remember focusing on several things doesn't actually mean you shouldn't apply your talents to the things that have been on your mind or heart. What it means is we just need to determine in what order is going to be most effective for you, right? A lot of us who are highly talented or get very excited about having an impact through many different ways that we can lead a business want to do all the things. Yes, you just want to continue to do all the things. And yet we need to decide in what order does it make sense to implement the things that you're focused on. If you look at your sheet, you will see where it says the decision I've been postponing is, and I want you to write that down. It can be related to business attraction, whether that's lead gen, with your events, networking, any of those things. It can be related to systems, tools, people. It can be related to having thinking time and CEO time on your calendar consistently. Whatever that small decision is that you've been postponing, you need to write that down. If you chose that decision this week, what relief would it create for you? if you actually moved forward in that one that you've been postponing. And then what you already know, but you haven't trusted yet in that area, right? So what's caused you to delay the decision so far? And after you write all three of those down, I want to be sure that at least two of you get to share what your thoughts were in that category. You don't have to answer all of your questions, but I just want to hear what decision you're making and how you're shifting things based on becoming clear in that area. What two people would like to share? You can come off mute and just talk through this part for yourself.
I can help. I can do mine.
Okay.
It really is expensive to be confused. And it's not because I'm confused, is that I've been just postponing the decision, but I've known, you know, that I know for a while I've had to make this decision. I hired somebody that's not working for me. It would be a significant saving, but I feel bad for not keeping them on. So it's like a people pleasing thing. Like I don't want to impact anybody negatively, but I am determined to do it so that I can clear up that budget for next month for sure. But I have to do it, yeah.
Okay. I love that. And I'm sure everyone can relate. You've made agreements, you've made partnerships at some point in your business history where you really believed, whether it was hiring someone for a small part of what they're doing in your business, serving your clients, whether it's admin work, whether it's ISA work, whether it's agent work, you really believe that was going to work. And maybe sometimes it's because we weren't clear in our expectations up front of what the job description was, what a win would look like together when we first got into that partnership, right? So we can always grow and think about where could I have improved all the way from the beginning to now and grow in that area and go back and reset expectations, which you have, Pamela, and take ownership of that and give them the opportunity once you do your part so that you can actually take ownership as a leader. And after that, it's up to them to show up on the other side of it. Or maybe we're needing from them something that they cannot do. And that's okay. That just means they don't fill the role we need the most in our business right then. And it's a business decision and it frees them up to go work with people that they're meant to work with. Yes? Yes. So you're actually creating opportunities for them to go work with people that they're designed to work with, which is great for them because they're usually miserable if they're not showing up at a high level anyway.
Can I say something about that?
Yes, you can.
Sure. So before this, I managed about 300 plus employees. And one of the things I'd always tell my leaders was by not coaching someone, you're not helping them improve. You're keeping them stuck in a crappy situation. And so therefore you're actually having a negative impact on their life. And by not allowing someone to go do something else, it's the same thing. However, I think the important part with that decision is to take a step back and make sure that you know that you assess for yourself, is there a better way than I could utilize this person, or is there a better way that I can communicate, or it may not be for that person. It may be that you need to set that up for someone else, but just so you that know, and you don't do the same thing over and over again. So
Yeah.
That was my 2 cents.
I love that. I would love to hear what this section was for you right now with you building your Charlotte luxury real estate business.
Yeah, sure. So my biggest thing is I worked in marketing and public relations for 10 years. When I first started my career, I worked in Silicon Valley. And so I was very good at doing marketing. I took a lot of pride in that. And what I've been postponing is outsourcing my marketing, even if I'm just utilizing, I know it's not Fiverr anymore, utilizing some of the online services. So it would create more clarity and confidence because I would actually get to be a CEO as opposed to sitting in front of the computer trying to create things that I'm so particular about. And then it takes up like a life drain. And then what I know, but I haven't trusted, sorry, something's on that space, trusted yet, is that I'll make 5 times more money when I stop doing my own marketing pieces. Like literally the hours of my life that I could spend actually being in front of people, whether it's on the phones or out in person, as opposed to sitting in front of a computer. That's the decision I need to make. And I don't think it takes a lot of money because I'm starting my business over again after being out for almost a year. And I just think that sometimes it's just finding people who can do a good job and don't charge a lot, right? And so they're out there. I have a friend that has an amazing assistant and started off paying him $6 an hour. He's phenomenal. And now he makes enough that he bought his mom a house, bought himself a house, bought himself a car. But when they started, that's what she was paying him. And because both of them grew, or because she grew, she rewarded him and he grew too. So
it's a huge opportunity. I love that so much because you have a marketing brain, so it's tempting to be in it, right? And it does take you away from relationships, which are the heart of everything. And you're great at that. So I'm excited about that for you. Anybody else have a burning desire to share around your clarity section of your workbook? Okay. All right. Type. If you have any major ahas, feel free to type in the chat too. I know everyone has a different desire of how you want to participate. And I know that if you're here, you care about this making an impact for you and your business. And that is our goal for everyone. Section 3 is boundaries. Boundaries protect what matters. Many people have a negative association with the word. And what you all know and what I've discovered, especially over the past couple of years, is when we put healthy boundaries in place, we actually attract people into our world that we love having as friends and that we love doing business with. Because people that are high level and in the direction of where our vision is leading us, they actually love and appreciate boundaries because it gives them clarity on how they can show up in a high level. So let's talk about where you're currently overextended. Some of you have already been working on this, and you may not have as many answers as you once had, thankfully. And let's just think about in life and business, where are you currently overextending yourself? It could be that you are being stagnant in your decision-making process, that you're thinking too long. It could be that you are overextended in your personal life as a mom. It could be that you're overextended in how you're taking care of everyone else except yourself. It could be that you are the only one lead generating in your business. It could be that you are the only one working on all of the things in your business. So you just need to think about specifically for you, where are you overly extended? Sometimes it just shows up different than we expect it to. I think Lorraine is asking all of you to share in the chat. What is it costing you right now? Energy, focus, or presence? So is how you're overextended right now. As an example, for me, last week I had a virtual assistant transition. Angela and I worked on some things, and she's been with me for a little while, and she has now decided that she wants to be a part of this long term. And I was overextended because I was working on how do I do all of the things while we weren't sure if we were going to continue working together transparently, because she was my first virtual assistant in this business. I was working on hiring someone else, getting them set up, going to be present at a event I was going to, and making sure my family was going to be okay in the event of weather, and how do I be totally present in what I was focused on. Thankfully, I didn't hang out there, but that's just like one example of like, how do I keep all the balls juggled, right?
I can contribute, but I don't want to overshare and take away someone else's opportunity to share, and being contribution. So if you don't want, I'm happy to share.
No, go ahead. I would love to hear.
So my biggest way of overextending myself is, I'm on the board for ARIA, I'm on the board for Canopy, I'm on DIA, I'm on 2 boards for Canopy, 3. And so I think that it's not being on those that actually overextends me, because if I were to manage them right, it would be no big deal. It'd be a few hours a month. However, it's my responding to low priority requests immediately and dropping the priority item that I'm working on that is what's overextending me, because that creates stress, that creates worry. And then I've got the low priority thing done, and I don't have the high priority thing that's going to actually help me pay my bills done. So it's costing me money, and it's costing me energy, and it's costing me my peace. And so a boundary that would immediately restore capacity would be if I stuck to my focus areas when I'm focusing on them. As someone else said, when you are dropping everything to focus on somebody else's request, you are actually adhering to their schedule instead of your own. So, obviously know the priorities.
Well, and that's so in alignment. Thank you so much for sharing. That's in alignment with what Leska wrote in the chat, life putting others' desires before mine, but I'm working on it. Ashley wrote organization and systems, going back to the calendar planning. She goes into action mode, but not in an organized fashion. So many ideas and not prioritizing the right things. One of the things that you just mentioned, Lorraine, that's so powerful for everyone to think about reminds me of one of my top books that I coach leaders on, which is called Multipliers. And if you haven't read that, I would add it to your list if you're leading anybody now or in the future. And it just helps you understand how to make sure that you're multiplying other leaders, which you are actually excellent at, Lorraine, and not diminishing them. And many times when we answer the things that are on their plate, or we do things for them, or we respond to people that should be going to them instead of slowing down and making sure people understand who to go to, are equipped to help in that area, it actually diminishes their growth as a leader. when we're doing it for them, or we're not slowing down to have a system. So I trust that everyone that's here who's running any businesses, that you care about making sure that you develop leaders around you and that you don't take away their opportunity for growth by responding or doing tasks that are supposed to be theirs. And I would love for one more person. Thank you guys. You're doing an awesome job of participating either in the chat or vocally. So one more person who hasn't gone yet, tell us about your boundaries section. What did you write down?
I can go.
Awesome. Hi, Shania.
Hello, how are you guys? I look a mess and a half today, but that's just because I'm home. And for boundaries, put down, I last year did a very good job at keeping up my boundaries and kind of learning what I wanted as a boundary, I guess I should say. Because I am, like, a lot of us fall into this rabbit hole of being people pleasers. And I think I currently am overextending myself in the sense that I put boundaries for other people's, but I didn't put it for myself because, my family comes from a family of entrepreneurs, but none of them have systems or way to maintain it. The business has always depended on them. So I guess I could call myself a first generation business owner, I guess you could say, a proper business owner. So it really is, there's no example to follow from home, which is, especially being Latina, where we get a lot of our, knowledge from, is just we learn it from the ones who came before us. And so it takes a lot of unlearning and relearning. And I think I'm overextending myself in the sense of just it all has to be me who has to do it, just because I want to make everyone proud, and I don't want to disappoint anyone. And then there's a lot of people counting on me. So I need to put more boundaries on my own thoughts and my own what I can actually do and what I need to either, get an AI to do or someone else to help me do, just because I literally can't do it all. What's it costing me? It's definitely costing me focus, just because I'm trying to do everything at once and I can't properly focus on one thing. And then one boundary that would immediately restore me is I recently took a very good class at my market center that taught me about AI. And I am currently, this whole, Snowden weekend, I've been implementing AI a lot more into my business. And that's been actually helping to simplify things a lot for me, just because in the sense of I can actually personalize it. I can just talk to it. I don't have to actually sit there, and I can do other things and have it just do it for me in that sense. So I technically hired an assistant. It's just an AI assistant.
I love that. How much did it cost you?
Right now, nothing, but
Right.
I do have a few subscriptions coming in.
Okay. Well, I love that for you. Thank you for sharing. I feel like almost everyone here can relate. And one of the things I'm going to share that comes up a lot in coaching conversations, in case this is helpful for all of you, is, and I'm just applying it to myself as well, by the way, everything that I ever share with you all, it's because I'm on the same journey of development as well. So every time you find yourself, whether it's helping your family members with their businesses, whether it's spending too much time with buyers that are not yet ready, whether it is spending time with clients that you really want to coach, but they're not your ideal coaching client, wherever you're finding yourself investing time with people that are not yet ready to work with you, or you find yourself answering frequently asked questions, there's an opportunity for a system. It's not that you have to say no to people, it's yes and. You just change the how you're serving them. You don't have to stop serving them, which is many times what causes us to continue, is because we have a heart for service and we want to help. And so every time you find yourself repetitively being in a service place, investing time with people that are not yet ready to work with you, or investing time with people that you care about, but they're not your ideal client at all because they're family businesses, ask yourself, could you create a system, or could you create a video library? What could you create to still serve those people without it requiring your time? And you making the habit of that is actually going to expedite how you increase and improve the service inside of your business as well. And Shania, I actually think that that would be great for you to continue to think about every single week during your CEO time. And Shantae said, mine is setting hard stop for taking calls. I always answer on the first or second ring, blessing and a curse. I've picked up clients this way, as other agents do not answer, but it takes away focus from other tasks. Can anyone else relate to that? Just being immediately available all the time. Yes? Okay. Love that. So what is your, Shantae, if you don't mind, what is the boundary that you're going to put in place that's going to restore capacity around that?
So what I recently started is setting my phone on do not disturb at 6:30 p.m. because I will take calls up until like 10 or 11. But I do have the stipulation of if I have a client that's in a different time zone, then I will have them removed from that do not call list. So that's the only exceptions that I do with the times.
Okay, that's so great. I love that you're making improvement on that. And you can also put it on your voicemail if you haven't, of exactly what time you stop taking calls and that you're present with someone else if you're not answering. And then they understand what's in it for them, of how present you'll be with them, right? Okay, let's go to section 4, which is leverage, focus, and scaling. Growth requires release. We talked about that in the beginning of this conversation, of releasing the things that are not required anymore, right? And that's both personally and professionally. Let's talk about that. What should no longer require me that you're still doing? For many people that I coach, I've had them do a daily audit because many times you don't even realize all the things you're doing. So think about what should no longer require me. Where am I acting as the bottleneck in my business? And what I mean by that is, where are you the reason why things are not getting done because you're waiting for you to be available to approve it or you to be available for the client, right? These are the areas that you think you're leveraged, but you're still stopping the things from getting done. Angel can tell you that there's a long list of those things for me. They would not fit on this worksheet that I'm working through to ensure that I'm no longer the bottleneck. And then you were going to figure out one decision that you can release, delegate, or redesign. And I love that Shania already brought up AI because this does not have to cost money. And if it requires a human, it can cost money. But you're going to make sure, to Pamela's point earlier, that you're setting proper expectations. You're having a clear conversation on return on investment. So you're getting a true business partner in any role that you're hiring versus just an employee with a mindset of how can I get paid money for me to just do tasks and wait for you to tell me every single detail of everything I'm ever doing. Those are two different mindsets of how you would lean into AI or how you would hire someone or how you would create a system. So this really, remember, leverage is always systems, people, or tools. It's not just people. And sometimes we can think we have to hire a person because we don't slow down long enough to put our CEO hat on and figure out what system, tool, or resource could I be using that would make this possible faster and better, instead of me thinking I've got to go hire and pay someone an expensive amount of money for me to hire a person. Okay, who wants to share? I'm going to have 2 people share that haven't yet, and then we're going to move on to the next section.
I can share something that helped me with that.
Okay,
That's
awesome. Thank you, Steph.
Yeah, hi, I'm Stephanie Prattley. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. I took my phone and you can go to record share on your phone. It's under your toggles. I have a Google phone. If you have an Apple, I don't know where that is, but you can type in phone share or record share. And I took a whole week, and every single time I did a task for my business, I would record myself. And I dumped all of that into my chat GPT, and I put in a prompt along the lines of, if you were my CEO, take all these recordings and tell them, and this is my budget. I have this much money per month to pay for somebody else to do some of these tasks, to give my time back to the places that are going to create the most revenue for myself. And dumped all that in there, dumped my chat request in there, and my chat GPT basically ran through everything that surprisingly I was doing that was just a time waster that my business didn't need at all. We could just remove that. Then put in specific tools that I could use or implementations in the systems that I was already paying for every month, how to set that up as quickly as possible so that those items were free, or how to include other AI tools to navigate some of the other pieces at a very discounted rate than what I would pay an assistant for, and solidified everything down to what specifically I had to do to run my business proficiently. So at that point, I'm in the process of reading this Grant Cardone 10X thing, which is stressful for me because I already like pushed myself enough. So to have him in my ear telling me that I need to 10X everything in my life, I actually plugged that into my little pipeline that I set up on ChatGPT, and I said, what this is my goal, and in 90 days I want to create this outcome for myself. And right now it's a financial piece so that I can move into the next big piece that I'm trying to build. What can I do to 10x my life based on Grant Cardone's blah 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 blah, and all of these other implementations that we've put together since you're my CEO. And so now it has created a weekly schedule for me that only focuses on very minimal specific things that I have to do to generate that 10x life that I want so that I can reach this goal as fast as possible. So in my mind, I can move on to the things I actually want to be doing right now. So I hope that's helpful. If you would like to know any more specifics about what that looks like, I would be more than happy to share with you the details that I have. But that worked for me.
That was so great. Thank you. Was there a maximum length of time that the recordings needed to be to fit in chat? Because I know most of the time it likes pictures. I just want to make sure if anyone's going to go do that,
I think
I
it
guess
was
we could just ask it.
I think it was 10 minutes, and there was a couple of videos that I had where I was actually going in and putting systems in I use Follow Up Boss, and I was
Yeah.
putting some systems in that were longer, but I was able to dissect them
Yeah.
and then dump them into ChatGPT. I'm sure that there is a more
It will probably
advanced
answer. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Perfect.
sure there's some other, and you can ask your ChatGPT, you know, where can I put my videos to do this? But
Yes.
it worked for me. It was really affordable and helped a lot.
Awesome. Thank you. So good. So good. All right. One more person. Does anyone have a burning desire to share around leverage? And then we're going to move into meaningful leadership. Okay. Is there anyone that does not have a playbook? Because I know we had some people get on later. And I just want to make sure that everyone leaves today with one, and Angel can absolutely share it again. So just pop in the chat. If you don't have to raise your hand. Just want to be sure that everyone has it. So this I'm so passionate about. Angel, if you could share the playbook again, that would be great. Meaningful leadership. So calm multiplies performance, right? So we want to think about this, and sometimes you're going to have to do a 360-degree review on this and ask other people, because we all have a specific lens of what we think it's like to be on the other side of us. And then we have other people that are actually on the other side of us, both inside our homes and outside our homes. And many times asking them these questions will help you get an additional perspective. So I challenge you to ask a couple people, choose two, that are close to you in life and business, these questions about how it's like to feel, how they feel after interacting with you, or how they feel on the other side of you. That is actually a question that John Maxwell asks his people often as a leader of a huge organization. He asks them often, what is it like to be on the other side of me? How can I get better? What are the things I'm great at as a leader to you? So that is a specific question that you can ask someone inside your home and someone in business over the next 24 hours so that they can give you and be totally open to direct feedback. I've actually had someone last week who I challenged to do this, and their husband wrote back, "Is this a joke? Do you want me to answer for real?" Give people a safe space to where when you do ask it, they feel like they can answer in completion whatever the answer is. Okay, so write down how people likely feel after interacting with you, how you think they feel. And that could be either a sentence or one word or a couple of words. And then the kind of leader that you're choosing to be in this season. So what happens is when you start thinking about how people likely feel after interacting with you, one of two things happens. You realize you've started to be super intentional about your leadership and you like what your answers are, because you've been working on this already. Or you realize, oh gosh, like in the moments that I'm not my ideal self, I probably have some opportunity to grow there. So the second answer comes from a place of either doubling down on what's working or choosing to improve on how you want to show up as a leader and the impact you choose to have on people around you. And by the way, 100% of people on this call are leaders, because leadership is just influence. You either influence all the people around you in your life for the better, or you influence them for the worst. And it can change from moment to moment. And the more often you reflect on it, the more likely you're going to have the impact that you plan on having. If anyone else wants one more book to read, I'm in the middle of reading a book on influence, actually, that is so powerful. And I'm about halfway through it. The name of it is... Hold on, I'll tell you real quick. I just scrolled through The name of it is The Gift of Influence, and it's by Tommy Spalding, Spaulding. And when I think about the Legacy Collaborative and everyone here getting to choose to live their legacy daily versus waiting until someday, which is what I'm so passionate about, it is very much in alignment with that. So that's why I'm sharing it with you, because if you're thinking about how you show up in the world, it is an amazing, amazing book. All right, Shania said, I'm always told that I surprise them with how I talk and how knowledgeable I am. So she is surprisingly smart. And so what you're saying, Shania, is they start to understand you can be pretty and smart. Awesome. All right. I would love for anyone who has completed the meaningful leadership section and something specific stood out to you of how people likely feel the kind of leader you're choosing to be this year, and an adjustment in pace or tone that you care about modeling. I would love for you to share it right now so we can support you and hold you accountable in this area.
Can I ask a question before?
You sure can.
I don't understand what it means by one adjustment in pace or tone I want to model.
So how did you answer the first one? How people likely feel after interacting with you.
Inspired.
Okay. And the kind of leader that you're choosing to be right now.
Sure, confident, authoritative.
Okay. Do you feel like the way that you communicate in pace and communication tone are in alignment with your answer to number 2, or do you need to make adjustments?
I need to make adjustments.
Okay. So the third one is just, and thank you for this because other people could have had the same question. The third one is just you choosing how you would want to change any of that. So if it is, yeah.
Add brevity and don't over explain.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. I think I'll take a piece of that for what I'm working on as well. So thank you. That was really good. One more person that's leading, because you all are inside your home and outside your home. Who would like to share? You're leading your clients. You're leading anybody that's working with you in your business. You're leading your children, nieces, nephews.
Can you be more specific about what you want to talk? What's the question?
So in section 5, what did you say that people feel like after interacting with you?
Well, I said that I make a lot of people cry.
Okay.
So I'm working on keeping it a little more neutral when I talk with people instead of diving in so deeply on their emotional pieces.
Okay. And then based on that, so you said the kind of leader that you're choosing to be is to like keep it more neutral. Okay. Keep it more neutral. And so is neutral your ideal leadership style long term?
I think that right now, I don't know what my ideal leadership style is long term.
I'm
spending a lot of time with myself navigating those pieces, and every time I get back to it, it looks very different than where I left off. So I don't have a good answer for you.
Okay, perfect. So what I would spend time on outside of this call is I think you're going to find there's similarities if you really dive down, no matter what you're working on. Because you are someone that really knows the impact you care about having in the world. You're great at it. So I would go higher level and not shrink it down to what do I want myself as a leader to look like in this piece of my business versus this piece. I would more define how do I care about showing up to anybody I'm serving. And then that will help you understand if neutral is your answer or if you want to make adjustments towards something else. And we can talk about it more because I want to answer any of your questions.
Thanks. I don't have anything else. I think that right now it's just a little chaotic in my head. So
we'll get there.
All right.
I'm sure other people can relate. Yeah, you got it. Okay. Section 6, the weekly CEO day. Who has heard of having a weekly CEO day before? Raise your hand. I'm so excited. Okay. Yes? Okay, awesome. This is just helping you affirm it, right? So I am actually going to talk about this once a year, every year, because I'm so passionate about how this is going to impact you. And you have many CEOs around you in different businesses. You could even consider as you're building your business in 2026, do you want to have a leadership network that you're a part of or that you lead? Because many of you already are leaders in different organizations locally, both personal or business or both. And you can continue to ask people, what do they focus on and work on during their CEO day? And then add any of the things that you're working on for yourself to add value to them. And remember that high performance requires protected thinking time. And that's the point of CEO day. And I would love for anyone who already has it consistently on your calendar and you are doing it to share in the chat right now. When is your CEO day? What day of the week? What's the time? And if you don't already know, then now you're going to choose right now. You're going to choose what that day of the week is and what time of day that you're focused on the financials of your business, the attraction of business, your people, your systems, all the high level conversations instead of the doing. So who would like to share when and what time? Monday, 10 to 12. Love that stuff.
So, for me, my day starts at Monday, and I start up with my morning routine, which is at 6:30 to 7:15. Then I have pivot shift, 7:30, 8:30. Then I do my CRM checkup from 8:30 to 8:45. Then I have 8:45 to 9:45, which is my CEO planning block. 9:45 to 11 is my database pipeline management. 11 to 12, money management. Then 12 o'clock to 1 is usually the meeting here. My systems and projects is 2 to 3. And my inbox, 0 to week at a glance, is 3 to 4.
I love it. So you truly have a full CEO day on Mondays.
Yes.
You are focused on that. And then Treva said it used to be Mondays, but recently got away from that, and she's starting that again this week. Love it. So that is the opportunity here, right? Many of you have heard of CEO days. If you haven't, you're just choosing your time of the week and the length of time that you're focused on it, and making sure you're hitting the key components of your business, which is your people, your profit, your systems, right? You need to be really looking at those consistently. And in mine, I actually have links to any dashboards or any systems I need to go look at right inside the block in the calendar. So I can just click on everything I need to be checking on in that moment. Angel and I have some shared documents there. So revisit what your systems and your links need to look like as you grow your business. So it makes it really fast for you to just go look at everything during that time and make decisions. Any questions on that? That's pretty cut and dry. Everyone, even if you didn't get anything or you got confused in any other part, you're walking away here with the CEO day so that you're actually putting your CEO hat on once a week, minimally. All right, section 7. These are some of the questions, and definitely not all of the questions, that you can ask yourself on a CEO day. You can copy and paste these in to your CEO rhythm to make sure you're thinking about them. Also, another book that I've mentioned a lot of times that you can grab a thought-provoking business question out of that you can just think about for yourself every week is The Road Less Stupid. It's by Keith Cunningham. He is an amazing thought leader and business guy. And even though I would not have titled the book that, it gets people's attention. And the questions that are in it from front to back are really powerful business questions. So during your CEO time, you can always go grab a question from that or any other trusted source. And in addition to checking in on all your key metrics and people and systems and profit, you can have a powerful business thinking question in there that might totally shift the trajectory of your business because you are spending time thinking on it and you're protecting that time. So in addition to CEO day action items, you want to make sure that you have thinking time consistently. And you could share your thinking time question on social media with other business owners as well while you're doing it. These questions are: what decision would create the most clarity right now? What is draining energy without producing results? Which we've talked a lot about that today in some of the other categories. Where am I still the bottleneck? Because you will find that that's a different answer every time you check in on it, as long as you're making progress. What boundary would immediately improve how I lead? And what does the business need from me, not more of me? And I know that is worded in an interesting way. And this is meant for you to think about, it needs clearer vision? Is it that I need a clear org chart? Is it that I need to make sure our business plan is in front of everybody that is in the business? Is it that I need to consistently be talking about the future and wealth building with the people that are in my business so that they know they can hit their long-term dreams inside of my organization, right? This is literally based on your expertise and what you can uniquely give to your business. What does your business need more of? And it does not require more time. It just requires you to be more of who you are and more of a leader to your business. So those are just questions that you can put in there, and then you can add any additional ones that help you think about your profit margins, think about your next hire, any of those things that are going to make sure you're implementing your business plan, which will be very unique to your business. And if you look at the sections 8 and 9 of the workbook, I do want you to fill out section 8 for sure. Based on the conversation of today, what is one CEO decision that you're going to make in your business? One boundary that you're going to honor, and one thing that you're going to let go of or release. I would imagine number 3 might be the hardest for most people here. And I would like just a couple of you to go ahead and share what your answers are there. And then I'm going to review the last part of this, which is the check-in that you're going to do at the end of each day versus just that 1 week longer time block. And then we're going to let you go focus on being the best leader that you can be this week. So who wants to share their 3 answers for section 8? It doesn't have to be someone who hasn't gone yet. Whoever really wants to share.
All right, I'll start. So one CEO decision is to delegate things that I do not need to do. I need to assess that. Should I be the one doing this, or should I use a tool, person, grocery, whatever?
Perfect.
Like don't spend time an hour in the grocery store when I can just order. Protect my time. One boundary I will honor is my daily schedule. One of my objectives for this year is to make sure that I'm not making this harder than it needs to be, and getting off work at a time where I can spend time doing the things that are fun to me and are with my family. And then one thing I'll release is the lack of confidence around my decisions that shows up for no good reason, just because. My husband always says, has it ever not worked out? Have you ever failed? I'm like, no. He's like, so why are you not being confident around this? And I know that's just a thing, but it's time for me to release that.
I love that so much for you. Leaning into the truth about who you are instead of the lies. Pamela, were you going to share?
Yes, I was going to share. And actually, it's pretty close to what Lorraine was saying. My CEO decision is actually to stick to the schedule that I already have and I know works, and stop trying to optimize or get distracted, just like stick to it. The boundary that I will honor, I have already delegated things. I have to stop trying to get them back just because they're not happening when I want them to happen. So I will definitely do that. And one thing that I will release, I think it's pretty close to what I just said. Like I know what I need to focus on, and I need to let others actually follow through with what their part is. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do it.
Okay, awesome. I heard you say that. Awesome. I love it. Okay. Really quick, because it is 1:02 and I want to thank you guys for staying the whole time. You all have been amazing, whether you could or could not turn your camera on. I'm so grateful that you're here. I trust that you got something that's useful for you out of this conversation. If you have the desire to dive deeper into the conversation and you're not already coaching with me directly, please reach out and I'll get you on my calendar for 30 minutes and we'll have a conversation to see how I can best help you apply this to yourself. And just make sure that you look at this ROI check-in at the end of each day so that you can start to celebrate the things that you do and the decisions that you make in alignment with being a CEO every day, whether it's morning or the end of the day when you do your wrap up. I would love for 1 or 2 people to just share real quick what the best part of today was for you, because I believe that feedback is the breakfast of champions, and I always want to do more of what is helpful for you. So if you don't mind staying and sharing a couple of things, and then you all can go have a great rest of your week. What was the most helpful or best part of this session for you?
For me, I want to say it's really been 2 things: the setting boundaries and leverage. Those 2 sections, I know it's going to help me elevate in my business. Once I get that leverage, it's going to help me focus on other things, as well as setting boundaries is going to help me focus on other things.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you're here. I love your energy, and every time you're here makes me happy.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay, one more person. What was the best part of today for you?
I think just being back here today after the break that we had. It's nice to know that like every Monday we have this little bit of accountability piece where we can all come together and share with each other what's working and what might not be working, especially because I'm stuck at my house in the icy snowstorm. So thank you all for contributing to my social time. I really appreciate it. I appreciate coming here when we have these, and thank you for that, for putting this together.
Well, thank you for being here. You added so much value. And then Carla wrote on there, I agree with Lorraine, as DOO, it gets difficult to let go and learn to delegate. Yes. And there are different ways to systematize and delegate things even before you have a ton of people to delegate to, right, Carla? Surround yourself with people that are experts in things, and then you can add value to them. I love that. And then Leska said, meaningful leadership, calm multiplies performance. Listening to how she responds and others respond to how they feel when they interact with me. So good. All right. Well, thank you guys. You're amazing. Have a great rest of your week. And all of the sessions are on the Facebook group, and they all have their unique link, and Angel's going to continue to make sure you have the email in advance. So just make sure you go register for them. Have some really great guests coming up as well that you won't want to miss. So have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.